I come from a home of creative artists. My father was very creative. He was a professional photographer, and we had very strong African beginnings. Fortunately or unfortunately, after some work done in Ghana, as the colonialists always made their servants leave, I felt I should go to London. I had become a professional textile designer in Ghana. If you were a Ghanaian, I would point one textile design I did, which became very popular. Abankaba. I don't know whether any Ghanaian here know about Abankaba. Very popular all over Africa. Abankaba means handcuffs. You know, when I designed Abankaba, normally the Unilever would not name the cloth. We went to the market women for them to see what name to give it. As soon as they saw the circles, they said, "This is Abankaba." By that time, a very popular song was called Abankaba, you know, very popular. So they named it, and I mean, it sold heavily. Unfortunately, you know, as a colonial subject and as an artist, if it was in Europe, I would be getting a lot of royalties from my designs, but it was just the monthly salaries. So I went to London. And studied theater design. You know, from there, I felt the real place I wanted to end was the United States. Fortunately, I gained admission into the American Drama Institute, American Musical and Drama Academy. You know, so after which, because I felt if there was one instrument that had really dehumanized the African race, is the audiovisual media. I did my first play. Luckily, as a young man, it was performed off Broadway.
Incredible.
Luckily, I had the director of the American Academy of Dramatic Arts had a classmate in Oxford who was called William Abraham, a Ghanaian called William Abraham, a philosopher. So when he heard that there was a young Ghanaian who had come to the States and was doing well, he called me to his office and said, "I learn you come from Ghana." I said, "Yes, I come from Ghana." He said, "I'm happy to hear you come from Ghana." Why? He said, "I had a classmate called William Abraham who was such a fantastic philosopher." He didn't say a black man. He said, "I met a person from Ghana, a fantastic guy that I have never met in my life. You know, he was such a brilliant guy. What can I do to help you, you know, expand your mission?" I said, "Well, my mission is to go to Los Angeles, Hollywood." So he arranged it. Luckily, he arranged it for me to go and understudy film production at RKO Studios in America. When I got there, interestingly, the first film or series that I was working on. And of course, you know, because of union regulations, you only observe, you don't touch even a chord. But I was very interested in the role we can play with this instrument. And luckily, I met one very, very brilliant and political activist. The only black person called Ivan Dixon. Yeah, Ivan Dixon. And the series was called Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah.
Yes, Hogan's Heroes. Everybody was saying, hi, Kwaw, hi, Kwaw, hi, Kwaw. But Ivan Dixon, the only black person, was the person who would not respond to my greetings. So one day I was bold enough to say, Brother Ivan, what did I do to you? You are the only black person, you know, on this production. When I greet you, you just ignore me and go away. What Ivan Dixon said was, look around you. How many black people do you see? I'm the only one. Do you know why? Good. I'm trying to save my future. Because my brother blacks on this production will always betray me when I discuss anything political with them. So I've been in hell for quite a long time. Who are you? I said, I'm a Ghanaian student. Oh, I'm sorry. I did not know you. I thought you were an African American. I said, that doesn't matter. You should not ignore African Americans. That is why I came to you. I said, I'm sorry, because Kwame Nkrumah happens to be my hero. You know, hero. He was so excited. So that evening, that afternoon, when we had a break, he said, I'll take you home and introduce you to my family. He took me home, and getting to the end of our conversation, he comes up to say, Kwaw, one thing that I warn you is that if there is one great trap in this country, it's drugs. And they try to encourage Africans, you know, to go on it. So since you've been here, I would wish that one day you will finish whatever you are doing and go back home so we can link up. Yes, we can link up. I said, thank you. Thank you. And she had a beautiful wife who was also well educated, not in terms of just academia, but the African mission. So I really enjoyed myself with that family. And you know, I think it was so timely that he took me to his house to meet the family. The following day, my hostess at breakfast, he said, Kwaw, I've heard some wonderful things about you. I've heard some wonderful things about you. But this is Hollywood. You know what to do. You see a number of great directors, what here, and you think they are so special. You need something to push you into that special lane. I said, what are you talking about? He said, this tablet, I want to introduce you to the tablet. When you take it as a creative person, you see green, greener, red, redder, black, black.
Sounds like acid.
So you try it. I said, I normally take my first tablet, the tablet I don't know, when going to bed. So I'll take it when going to bed. Because what Ivan Dixon told me, was still hovering on my head. In the evening, I put it in the toilet and flushed it. We went back to breakfast the following day. Said, Kwaw, did you take the tablet? Oh, Valerie, I mean, the kind of dreams I had. So, and I had to paint a beautiful picture. He said, I told you. So he put a whole bottle. So I said, I called Ivan when we went back to, I said that, Ivan, thank you for that timely, intervention. I benefited. This is what happened. And Ivan was very happy. I mean, he was coming to Ghana because of me and another Ghanaian called my Kofi. And we became friends. But one day, what actually really moved me was going back to school. I was, a bit late, in a hurry. Then I saw 3 black children playing. Wow. And I could see their act as if they are, portraying the African or whatever. So I said, what are you children doing? He said, oh, we are playing the African and the hunter. The African and the hunter. Who is the African and who is the hunter? He said, they are the white hunter and the African, gorilla. So I was sad. I watched them for a while and said, shoot me. He said, what do you mean? Because I'm an African. I said, you an African? You don't mean that. I said, shoot me, I'm an African. And these children, I asked them to take me to their parents. This was 61. They did not have a clue as to what Africa really was, the parents. So I became friends with the family that I enjoyed very much, and later on, fortunately, where I was living in New York, there's this black lady who also loved Kwame Nkrumah so much. So all the 9 floors, all the tenants were Ghanaians. So that was a good joy for me. Seeing those children playing the African and the European gave me the drive that I was on a mission. So I decided that I had to strengthen my mission. I've come here to work, not to just enjoy the lectures, but to see the in-between lines of who am I? Where am I coming from? And where am I going the way forward? So one day, there was the first trade fair. The place where the planes went and bombed those skyscrapers.
World Trade Center.
Yes. Yeah. 9/11, Yes. That was where the trade fair was taking place. We went there and Nancy Thibault had told us that all the pavilions at the trade fair, all the pavilions have been well presented. It was only Africa south of the Sahara that one a congressman called Graham had taken it as a project, built a nice hut as usual, brought about 36 something Zahiri dancers from Rwanda. I've forgotten the name. And one fine monkey, a chimpanzee, with in car wash with a name across the breast, Susie. And that's all you could see. I immediately put together the African students and we protested. Apparently, they were really chasing us all over the place. I didn't know. Then one day, when this guy was coming to Ghana, Malcolm X, you know, he heard about me. And so we met in my apartment with other students just to know about Ghana, just to know about Malcolm X. That was the, you know, top of my problem. When the students came down, we came down with Malcolm X, and I saw a black cameraman saying, "I'm from Ebony. I want to take a picture with you and Malcolm." So we all lined up, very happy. We're going to appear in Ebony. So he got the images he wanted, you know, from me. Apparently, our protest at the pavilion on behalf of Africa south of the Sahara had not been taken lightly. So they decided to haunt us. And I tell you, I was coming back to California, Hollywood, to continue with my attachment. When I got to Hollywood, a week later, I had a letter to report to the military camp to be sent to Vietnam. When I got to America, I was very excited about America. So I wanted, because I went there on green card, and the law was that you serve when you are not 26. So I went there, but by which time I had a scholarship, so they give me a deferment. Why will you call me in the middle of my course to go and serve in Vietnam? So my embassy, one beautiful ambassador called Kofi said, "No, we are not going to allow our good student to be murdered in Vietnam." So they decided to sneak me out of America. You can imagine.
By boats or by plane?
Pardon?
Boats or plane?
Bones.
By boats or plane?
Oh, by plane.
Okay.
So one day, I was sitting, I moved from my apartment to go and stay at the embassy. The head of chancellery at the embassy. And the days were coming, 3 days to the time, I was quietly smuggled out onto the plane, and you can imagine who is watching. Am I going to be grabbed on the plane and sent back? It was not easy until the plane took off. When it took off, I prayed to my God, thank you. As soon as I touched the soil of London, a letter was there telling me to return, and I said, to hell with you people. And so I stayed for a while. It was when Carter came to power that I was given a presidential pardon. So, yes, by which time I had started my career as a designer with the Ghana Film Corporation. But one thing that I forgot, when Malcolm X, before they got me, Malcolm X, and I never missed his rallies at the Audubon Ballroom. I was there. No, I wasn't there. I was late that day, and in the bathroom, my apartment was just about 4 blocks to Audubon Ballroom. I was in the bathroom when I heard guns, rattling. So I quickly dressed and ran down. When I went there, about 8 bullets on his chest. He was still breathing. So these things really motivated me, and listening to Malcolm X, he was such a great mind. So we shared quite a bit, and I was happy to have been in his company, So I came to Ghana and struggled as usual with the civil service, the Ghana Film Corporation. The man, just having heard that I was coming from Hollywood, I became an object of hatred and envy. What did I know? I went to Hollywood. I just observed. I had not produced anything. Please give me a chance to. No. They'll throw you here, throw you there. So luckily for me, the Unilever wanted to have, commercials, because the film commercials that were being shot abroad were very expensive. So they wanted me to leave Ghana Film to come and head them. So I left, and then 2 years later, I founded my own company, Target Advertising, because I did so much for them with the Ghana films, and they loved the commercials I did for them. Yes, so I set up my own company, Target Advertising. Then later on, ultimately what I wanted to do was a feature film. So I put out Love Brewed in the African Pot, and it became Love Brewed in the African Pot.
Love Brewed in the African Pot.
Yes. And it became a big hit, not only here, but on the continent. So thank God, my father-in-law, because when I needed a bank loan, they would not give me, because they thought film was quite a risky, enterprise. So they would not. So my father-in-law heard that I've struggled for 8 years, and he said, and he thought I had taken good care of the daughter. So, and especially I'm talking about an Ashanti who thinks more about the nephew than, either the daughter or the son. He called me and said, young man, I hear you've been struggling to get a loan, and they want an estate, as collateral. Why haven't you told me? I said, hey, my in-law to come and tell you in this country. He said, no, I have faith in you. Tomorrow come and take a house as collateral. It was like having suffered a cold, water poured onto me. And so I went on. and I would not sleep. I fainted about 3 times on the production. You know, because hey, your father, you love your wife, and he's giving you your check. You don't want to lose your.
Yeah,
Others did not understand what I was going through. But eventually we put out Love Brood in the African port, and the biggest success in Africa. So that was what, you know, I had. Beyond that, I said, hey, our history, these people have twisted our history. When in Ghana, some of our people were, I was told that when you go into church and you meet a white man, turn around and go home, you met God, you know. These things did not work well. And adding what I had studied abroad and the experiences I've had, I said, no, I should not just be a filmmaker. I should be someone on a mission. And whatever I do to help is to go and help the cause of the African struggle. So that's why I'm here.
Sure.
We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Yes. So, any questions?
Go ahead, love.
Is there any particular reason why you decided to build the museum in Takari? Or
Pardon?
anywhere else?
Museum.
Why did you build in Sekondi?
Not Accra.
Private dungeons or...
The reason is very simple. I'm partly a native of Sekondi, you know, Takrady. And what more, Accra, the land problem.
Yeah.
Before you get the land, it's been sold to about 6 people. And this museum meant a lot to me. I didn't want a situation where someone comes to me, hey, this land does not belong to you. What I've done here is not for Ghana, it's for the black race. Black can expand because there's more of our story. Africa has the most beautiful stories to tell. You know, you could see that the space here is a bit jammed. You know, we need to expand our. I pray to God, maybe age is not on our side, but I thank God for being where I am.
Yes. It's very nice what you've done with the space you do have.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's very well organized.
Yes, thank you. And I must apologize for the hiccups, technical hiccups.
Oh, no.
That's technology.
Yes.
Yes.
What is the plan for the future in terms of succession planning? I've met a lot of elders, aunties, uncles that have built remarkable things. Do you have children that are going to lead this on? Do you have a plan as you transition into your older ages and stages?
Well, of course, we have a good business plan. Short, medium, and long plans. What is happening now is we are now putting out adverts for good curators to take over this place and, you know, push it forward. The problem in Africa today is that the Europeans have really played our history so low that, you know, a lot of people could not care about what happens to the black people. Our history, they don't make sense of what you bring them, they have all the degrees in the world, but they are not Africans. You know, in a place like this, you need someone who is concerned, who is part of the mission that we're going to use Bisa Aberwa, you know, to the world, for people to know that we know where we are, and therefore we know where we are going. It's not been easy, but I know we'll find one of these days.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I should. Does anyone else have any questions for our elder?
Yes.
Go ahead, sis.
First, I just want to thank you. You know, there's so much wisdom in these walls, and I just want to thank you for creating this space. I just wanted to thank you. I said there was so much wisdom in these walls, and I greatly and deeply appreciate what you've done in this space. I just wanted to ask you if there is one thing you want Black people to take away from this experience, what is it? I just can't.
It's to leave a legacy that has made young ones like you, brilliant young ones. You know where you are. Do not think you are in heaven. They have always created hell for us. Have you seen what you saw, that song in the film? The Congolese song. When it came in the 80s, we all loved it. But we didn't know what they were saying. Even the Pope got involved, as you read on. The Pope got involved to ensure that it does not spread. You know, what I really want is what I said in my speech, that the young ones like you must be encouraged to know that the struggle has not ended. Africa deserves better. And if I say Africa, I mean the diaspora as well. We are one people coming from the same root. Therefore, our children must be conscientized. This is what the Europeans did, isn't it? You know, it got to a time when the Romans were ruling the world with their religion, Roman Catholic religion. The Anglicans that Romans had once ruled woke up and said, don't we have an Anglo-Saxon values? So they created the Anglican Church, that the queen or the king became head of that church. The image of the European, British European, will always be there. Look at us. Anytime we present an African representing our image, we are worshiping idols. You know, we are worshiping idols. Where would that take us? I want in future for you to be trained to feel that I am an African, a superior being. Therefore, nobody can look down upon me. This has been our struggle. Look at now, and I would not hesitate to say that we are praying more than we are working. Praying to get manna fall from heaven. You know, you ought to, if you want cassava, you plant cassava and it will grow cassava for you. God has already given us the strength. You know, you don't need conventions to bring manna from there. The manna will never come from heaven. Life is very practical. Yes, God is spiritual, but He's already done what God wants to do for the African. So we should be proud.
Sure.
Yes, we should be proud. The future is ours, if only we come together as a people and fight for our emancipation. We are still not emancipated. We are still colonial subjects, you know. We are still colonial subjects. Everything, whatever the Europeans, they don't even count us when they meet. Yet look at our richness. We have been so endowed with everything. We see in Ghana, we just discovered lithium, isn't it?
Yeah, Atlantic lithium is here.
And what happened? What happened? We call Europeans to come and mine lithium for us when we have trained doctors in mining. You know, you don't need rocket science to dig, lithium. It's sad. Brinyan John, white man is everything. Is he everything?
No.
We learn their language and go and beat them in their schools. How many of them speak our language? Yet we think they are superior, but they planned it well. Colonialism, that is why I said let's plan to rise. Yes, it's only when we plan that we can rise together. And together we are stronger. Are we realizing this? I mean, I hope we'll get there eventually. Yes.
Good question.
I see there's a gentleman in the middle. I was wondering who that was.
That's the old lady. The old lady.
Okay.
Bisa Aberwa. The name is Bisa Aberwa, the old lady. Way back in the ancient times, the old lady had a big say in our family business. When, they sit down and see soldiers go, soldiers come. So the oral history was always with them. Even in the judicial system, when there was an impasse where they cannot find judgment, they will say, Kebisa Aberwa, it means go and ask the old lady. What the old lady says is what. And this image here, I had a woman who was about 104. I was shooting a film and I needed that old lady. She appeared and I said, I must preserve this image for my future, museum. After the shoot, she died. So yes. So she's quite an image there. So ask the old lady. It's our great grandmother being presented here.
That's it.
Good.
Go ahead, my brother.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you if you still practice African spirituality or you consider yourself a Christian?
Tradition? No, I'm a traditionalist. I pour libation. That's what I understand. I pour libation. And it is not what you claim to be, but what you do with your faith that matters. Yes, you worship 20 times a day and you go out there and steal to become rich, you call yourself godly. No. I pour my libation, I understand the language. It takes me way back to my ancestors. You can't even mention ancestor here. Yet, in the past, before they commissioned every ship in Britain, the Queen will go and throw a champagne or wine at the ship to break, and that was for Britannia. You've heard about Britannia before, yes. Why is it that whatever we do to our God, our image, didn't God create man in his own image? So where's our image? Where's our image? The children must know our image is what you see. Your mother is your image. Your father is your image. You understand what I mean? Good. And your pride is strengthened when you recognize yourself as a black person. Appreciate yourself as a black person. That's what the future can do for us. And that will be the legacy I want to see, dead or alive.
Any other questions for Elder?
I got one. I want to know, did you have any challenges while trying to build the museum? Did you have any challenges trying to build the museum?
Why can't I hear today?
Did you have
Come
any,
closer.
Did you have any challenges trying to build the museum, building the museum? Were there any challenges?
Trying to build.
While you were building the museum,
Yes.
were there any challenges?
Hey, don't remind me. Don't remind me. my neighbor there, it's a mission house for the priests. They made sure that I was so frustrated I wouldn't build the museum. Apart from that, my own African brothers and sisters who were building this place, what I went through, I could have built 2 more museums. So, but I passionately wanted to achieve what I wanted to do. And not that I didn't know that these hurdles were going to come in my way. So it's been quite a struggle, and I am very happy. I am very happy, and I do hope that I can do more with it, because most of us at my age, I have my, what do you call it?
A boarding pass?
Boarding pass. You see, boarding pass. I've got my boarding pass waiting for my flight.
I'm sure.
Well, we have to wait long.
Yeah. The flight has been delayed.
Well, hopefully it's longer.
Yeah.